and welcome to BWTM Sports. We have with us in a room a very special guest, Olympic gold medalist, former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, and an absolute great fighter and a heavyweight that I have a lot of respect for, and one that I've been chasing for a long time. Finally, unfortunately, we've had technical issues trying to get Ray on video, but we're going to try and do an audio call here. But I'd love to welcome to the room, finally, merciless Ray Mercer. Ray, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for the introduction, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love when they used to introduce you, you know. I don't know where to begin with this. I'll tell you what, let's start this from 2020. Mike Tyson's making a comeback. Evander Holyfield's making a comeback. James Toney's talking about making a comeback. Oscar De La Hoya's talking about making a comeback. Is there any possibility that Ray Mercer can make a comeback?
You'll never hear those words. I'm done.
You're done.
I think I did enough, and I'm almost 60 years old now, and all them other guys, they really need to sit down too, because you risk getting brain damage or getting hurt, getting in there now at this old age. I mean, we accomplished everything we're going to accomplish. There's nothing else going to be done, other than make a little money, and to me, the risk isn't worth it.
So, Ray, Evander Holyfield says 57 years old. Mike's 53 years old. There are people that believe that they've seen Mike on the pads. And people who are listening in the room now, please let me know that you can actually hear what's going on, that the quality of the sound is okay, so you can hear Ray speaking. So please let me know if you can hear Ray's voice and you can hear my voice. People are saying because they've seen Mike Tyson on the pads and looking so explosive, there are people that believe he could beat the top heavyweights today. What are your thoughts on this?
I also believe that. I believe people, the heavyweights like Deontay Wilder and Joshua and Louise, all them guys, man, I think they probably can come back and get them, but they got to know they got to get them. They got to get them early, because those father time sets in, and father time lets you know when it's time to quit boxing. And in this sport, you don't want to wait till you get in the ring to have to find out that father time is right there.
So, of course, you had an illustrious career from fighting becoming an Olympic gold medalist, to going on becoming heavyweight champion of the world, and even crossing sports over into, was it bare knuckle or UFC sort of fighting you did? MMA, mixed martial arts, yes. So you've had the pleasure or the opportunity to go through those phases. At what point did you realize as a fighter, I'm done? That's it. No amount of money is going to bring me back. No amount of, adulation from the fans. No amount of my ego is going to bring me back in the ring.
I was 49 years old, I think, on my last fight, and I was done. I mean, I didn't have the hunger to get back in there. I missed the training, and I missed the checks most of all. But I've done that. That's hard work, man, and there's a lot of stress on your body, mind and soul. So I figured out after I had my last fight, when I fought Tim Sylvia, MMA fight, which was my last fight,
yeah.
And I forget what month it was, but it was in the 09, and I knocked him out in 9 seconds.
Wow.
And that was it. I mean, they suspended me after that. I would have another MMA fight, but they suspended me because they didn't really want me to knock out another one of their guys. I'm serious. I am dead serious. That's what they did, because I went through the what they call it when you go through I got checked out and everything, when you check you out.
Yeah.
They made me get an ultrasound. They went against protocol, made me get an ultrasound. They did everything they could to try to stop me from fighting. So
wow.
I had surgery. I had neck surgery back in 96. I think it was 96, and they looked that up in the records, and they used that to call off the fight and suspend me.
Damn.
So I didn't feel like fighting it. I just said, hey, the hell with it. I was done anyway, man. That was my last fight anyway.
Ray, is that because you you didn't go to the script. Were you meant to come into MMA and fall over?
No, nobody ever thought that. Nobody ever told me I was gonna do. I would never do that anyway. They know what kind of fighter I was. I'm not folding for nobody.
Absolutely.
I'm in there to win, and everything that I do, man, I'm telling you, I'm in there to win. But some people expect him, to take me down, and and then me tap out and stuff like that. But I wasn't gonna let that happen either. Like, worst thing that could happen to me in an MMA fight is me getting on my back.
Yes. Did you have any apprehension actually getting into doing MMA? Because obviously you'd boxed your life, and I'm sure you probably could have a street fight when you needed it, and defend yourself. But MMA, I mean, that's a different art altogether. That's not kicks and being on the floor and being tied up and a man wrestling you a certain way. What gave you the confidence to believe that you could get in there and fight that code?
Well, me and MMA came out during my boxing career, and it got real big, and me and my son, we was watching it, and he likes it, so he was calling all these guys beasts and stuff like that, and I'm sitting there, they've been champ in boxing, so I said, shoot, I can go try to do that. So I did that really for him. Okay. And that and some money,
Of course, money.
It was at the end of my career a little bit, the last thing to go was the power, and I think I showed that when I knocked him Sylvia out.
You still had it. You still had the power.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go in reverse here rather than in a way, because one of the things I've always wanted to ask you, when did you know you could take a punch? What was the moment that said, you know what, I can take a punch. I'm made for this?
Never, from just listening to people, man, because, I had a trainer, his name was Sergeant Ray Lilly in the Army, and he always taught me one thing. He said, always keep your eyes open, because of the punches that hurt you are the ones you don't see. And, that's just a little thing. You don't even think about that. But that went, because I was an older guy when I started boxing, that went a long way with me. And that's how that's, to me, just seeing everything coming. I never really, took a hard punch in there, and, never been hurt in there, but I seen everything coming most of the time. The ones I didn't see coming, I fought Holyfield one time, and he hit me with a hook, and I took a knee and hit me in the back of the head. We know he had 35, but, that's what he did. You just never know. I just never think about it, man. I always watch the punches come in, and if I see them come in, then they don't hurt me.
You actually read my mind, because that was the next question I wanted to ask you. I've watched the fight with you in Holyfield, and the one thing I know about Ray Mercer, he doesn't go down. He takes a great shot, and Holyfield's not as big a puncher as some of the guys you'd fought before that couldn't put you down. And I'm thinking, Holyfield hooks you with a left hook and drops you. And I'm thinking, wow.
He didn't drop me at all. I took the knee. If you watch the fight, I took a knee. Because what I was taught in the amateurs and the Army boxing, they teach you, if you lose the punches, Holyfield kind of fast, and he hit me with a hook, and I didn't see it. I didn't see that. So rather than to sit there and get pounded on, take a knee, get your wits together, and then get back up. That's what I was doing.
Wow.
He didn't drop me. Dropping me beat me falling. If you look at it, I just took a knee.
I remember it. I now remember it. So my apologies for that. But I do remember the left hook at the time. And Holyfield, I think you started to get on top of Holyfield at that point of the fight. I remember you did the bowler punching him, I think, and you wind up the hands. I remember it. And the commentator, I think, was Ian Dark, and he said you were getting on top of Holyfield, and then suddenly out of nothing, this left hook comes out, and Holyfield sort of like, I don't know.
Yeah, didn't see it, but I did what I was taught to do, was take a knee.
Wow.
That's what we was taught to do. If you rather than sit there and get pounded, I'd have pounded a lot of people because they get hurt, they don't know what's going on, then they're out of it. So, to keep yourself getting in that situation, man, just take a knee and get yourself together.
Another highlight for me watching your career was when I first saw you fight. Was when you fought Tommy Morrison. I remember at the time I was a big Tommy Morrison fan. I didn't know who Ray Mercer was, and Tommy Morrison was in there, and he was blowing all these big bombs and boom, boom, boom. And I'm saying, this guy Ray Mercer won't go anywhere. And these big bombs from Morrison. Morrison with a left hook. Morrison with another left hook. And all this stuff was all around Morrison. And then suddenly, you turn the tide on Morrison. And then Morrison's like defenseless on the ropes. And you're pounding on Morrison. Obviously, the fight stopped. But at that point there, that was for me. That's what made you, for me, Ray, merciless. Because I saw images of Morrison's head going back and forth against the ropes and the referee having to come in and stop him. That was my image as a young boy growing up watching Ray Mercer saying, that's what made him merciless. The way you finished.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that fight.
Well, I have to talk about that fight. When I was stationed in the Army, me and the dude, my friend that was stationed over there with me, he was the strongest man in the world contest. He won the strongest man in the world contest twice. Mm-hmm. So he got with me, a couple of fights before Tommy Morrison. And when we had the weigh-ins, and he just weighed, so he weighed about 400 or some pounds, and he was, like I said, he won the strongest man in the world contest, so he knows stuff. So when we weighed in Madison Square Garden, not Madison Square Garden, at the Times Square, he took his shirt off and he turned around and he had all kind of black heads on his back. So my guy, O.D. Wilson, strongest man in the world contest twice, told me all I had to do was get him tired. 5 rounds and he will be done because he's on oil-based steroids. That night is when I changed up my whole game plan. And that's why he hit me so many times, because I was wanting him to do all that. But I didn't know he was going to hit that hard, you know what I'm saying? But he was hitting. I was taking him. And I got in there. The trainers didn't know what I was doing. They was like, what the fuck? Because this ain't how we train. And I said, I give him whatever. So, third round came, he was getting off. First round, second round, third round, he was getting off. At the end of the third round, he was getting tired. He started breathing hard. And that's when I went to work. As you can see, that's when I went to work. That's when I woke up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was tired, so we had got him tired. And all I had to do was just do the rest.
As my dad would say, boy, he thump up that boy now. He thump him up. So yeah, it was a devastating performance from yourself. How big a puncher was Tommy Morrison?
He was big. He was big. He was a big puncher. But I fought him in the amateurs also.
Okay.
So he was a big puncher and all that other stuff. Though, but we knew he was on steroids too. So we just waited. we just made him work.
So
just made him work.
You mentioned the thing about the steroids. How much effect does that have on a fighter's career? I mean, like, how much advantage does that give a fighter? Because you were able to soak it up and give back. But how much advantage does that give another fighter?
How much advantage does it give another fighter?
Yeah.
That I do what? I was doing something like that. I had to.
Just all right. With the steroids.
All right.
So how much advantage does that give a fighter?
How much does it help a fighter?
Yeah, how much of advantage, Ray, does that give a fighter that's on steroids? Because you noticed Morrison was on steroids.
Yeah. All I know is the steroids give you a lot of power, a lot of speed, but it only gives you that for a certain amount of time. So I don't know if I answered your question that I got, but I really didn't hear it.
Okay.
Doing something.
Okay, so I was basically asking just whether in terms of the steroids, how, because we hear a lot about PEDs in boxing, and it seems to be a very thing that people talk about a lot. They say 90% of the fights today are on PEDs. Would you agree with that statement?
I would think so. I mean, a lot of people, done got caught, on them lately. I mean, they say Roy Jones and who else?
James Toney.
Yeah, James Toney, all them guys was taken. I didn't know them guys were taken. I thought they were like natural, fighters and nothing like that. Because taking steroids is cheating now. I mean, Shannon Briggs also. Yeah. He was on steroids. There's a lot of fighters out there on it. And those like old little fighters right there. So I believe nowadays these fighters are on it.
Wow.
The Russians come over here, they're strong. They're just strong.
So one of the statements I was making that is, if one person's taking it, then everyone should take it. So therefore, nobody's got a distinct advantage.
Yeah, true enough. That's why they really call it cheating. That's why if you've been caught doing those, then you don't get into the Hall of Fame. You don't get into the boxing Hall of Fame if you get caught with steroids.
Apparently, I don't know how true this is that Jerome Miller has been caught again.
Who?
Jerome Miller, Big Baby Miller, has been caught again, apparently.
Wow.
Just that news is just broken.
That's bad. That's the first time I heard that, but that's bad. Yeah, but nowadays, man, the competition out there is hard, man. But you just got to do it the right way. You got to do it the right way. Any other way is cheating.
All right, let's talk about your fight with Lennox Lewis. Highly contentious fight for a lot of people. A lot of people thought that you won that fight that night. Lennox said when he was going to fight you, he was looking for a guy that could prepare him like he were going to fight Mike Tyson. Going into that fight, what were your thoughts about Lennox Lewis at the time?
I just want to go in and beat him, man. We was in the same Olympics or whatnot, and he beat our super heavyweight, which was Riddick Bowe, which I think Riddick probably quit in that fight. I was just in there just to fight him, man. I was a fighter, and I knew he was a hard puncher, and I knew he was good, and I had to be in shape and everything. So I got in there and just started throwing stuff, hitting him with stuff. I have a hellified jab. I was hitting him with that, and then the right hand behind it. He just couldn't take it. He's never been hit that much. He's never been hit that much. I mean, soon as the fight was over, they put shades right on him. I mean, he was banged up, and I talked to him twice. He admitted to me that I won that fight.
Wow.
I told him to send me half of the check. and I'm still waiting on it. I told him that, man, last time I said it, man. But he's a cool dude, man. I like Lennox Lewis.
I remember the back and forth in that fight, certain rounds where, you were getting on top of Lennox and Lennox was going back against the ropes. And I remember him hitting you with an uppercut, one to the body and up, and the uppercut and he threw a left hook, right hand combination. And then you still stood there. When he was hitting you with those big shots, what goes through your mind, Ray?
Nothing. I know this. If you hit me with your best and I'm still standing there, it's gonna freak you out.
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing that. If you hit me, I just smile at them when they hit me hard. But like when I was fighting, I took him with a spoon and he hit me with the overhand right. That's his signature punch. Yeah. And I said, woo, I just said, woo. And, just have fun with it. I was just having fun with that. When they hit me hard, man, and I wasn't hurt. If I was hurt, it'd be a different story. But I can speak now because I wasn't hurt. It was hard punches, but, I just wanted to be there like it was nothing. So they hit me, I come back right and hit them. Now,
the toughness that you have, the way that you go about your business, Ray, is something that's very commendable and respectable, and it gets plaudits around the world. Do you think it was because of your background or what you experienced that made you that way, or do you think you were just naturally that way inclined?
I think I was probably naturally, but I do have to say, without the military, without the army, I would never be sitting here talking to you right now. I give total credit to the military for teaching me, training me, and giving me a gold medal in the Olympics.
What was it about the military that gave you the edge to become Olympic champion, gold?
You're just automatically tough in the military. I mean, I was in infantry. I ain't gonna say everybody in the military is tough, but I was tough-minded in the infantry. And I like to play basketball and football, and I was just, that type of guy. And, the military gave me a playground. It really did. And I took advantage of it because, I was 23 years old when I first started boxing. When I first put on a pair of gloves, I was 23 years old. Mm-hmm. And then 5 years later, in 1988, I won the gold medal.
Wow.
So I took everything serious.
Wow.
I had fun with it.
You absolutely did. What was that? What was that feeling like becoming an Olympic gold champion? Having having that gold in your mouth and holding it and being.
Man, it's something that it's something everybody always wants. It's something that I always wanted to be. And I was sitting there on the Olympic team and over there in Korea, and I hadn't won. We hadn't fought yet, and it was still my dream to be on the Olympic team and win a gold medal. So half my dream was true, and when I won, oh man, that was the best time of my life right there.
Even more so than becoming WBO champion, right?
Huh?
Even more so than becoming world champion.
Yeah.
Why?
No. What did you say? Did I become a world champion?
No. I said. I mean, you said you're being an Olympic gold medalist was the one and the most important, like. Meant the most to you. But what about being world champion?
That's all bull. I mean, it's money. That's what it is. But my dream was to win a gold medal, because you're not fighting for yourself. You're fighting for your country. And I was in the military to fight for my country in the Olympics, man. To me, that was awesome. So that would always be the highlight of my boxing career. I mean, when the pros came, I was heavyweight champ. I wasn't that for long, but it just, ain't number, I already worked to get there. The Olympics got me to that title.
What?
So evidently that's my number
that
one
means
thing,
more
man,
to you.
Winning the gold medal.
So when you hear about pro fighters wanting to go back and fight in the Olympics, what are your thoughts on that?
For me, fighting going to the Olympics that's to me it's a one in a lifetime thing, man. I would never go back doing that. After you are in the Olympics, you should turn pro and make some money, and that's it. I mean, it's just too much stress on your mind, body, and soul.
Wow.
To fighting on that level. That's world level, man. That's everybody in the world. It takes a lot.
Wow. Now, let me talk about your fight with Larry Holmes, the great Larry Holmes. I was shocked that night, the way Larry Holmes boxed you. And I know Larry Holmes is a great fighter and all the rest of it, but at that age, I thought that you would have been able to handle Larry Holmes. Can you talk to me about that fight in your eyes and how it went?
Yeah, what happened during that fight really is, when we was training, Larry Holmes was considered an old guy. I was up become young tiger guy.
Yeah.
So my trainers, when we fought, my trainer was telling me, do not, just because this guy is old, do not take him for granted. Do not take him for granted, And then after, halfway through the camp, maybe a couple of weeks before the fight or whatever, 3 weeks, they changed it. They was like, well, this guy shouldn't be standing in front of you after 3 rounds. So what I did is I went out there, they got in my head. I went out there and I tried to get him, I staggered in the first round with a jab. And then after that, his pen around, he was talking, communicating with his wife in the crowd and everything. It just threw me off my game the way he would work.
Yeah.
Like holding the rope. He was like holding the rope.
I'm talking to the cameraman.
Look at his wife and talk to his wife a little bit. I always tell them that him and his wife beat me. I lost 2 people that night.
What does that do for a man's ego? A tough man, that happening to him. What does that do to you internally?
To him, that had to make him. I mean, I was a young lion. He beat the young lion, and he did it by experience. That just goes to show that you can be a young lion, but if you got no experience, then you got nothing.
Wow.
So he just beat me with experience, a little experience hanging in there. Plus, Larry Holmes is my idol.
Yeah.
I mean, we became real good friends now, man. I go to his golf tournaments and everything now.
Wow.
His wife was lovely. She, they love me and my wife. We go play golf. Larry's the best. He's my idol before I even started boxing.
The one fight I would love to see you in was against Mike Tyson. I heard there was some rumors of a fight between you and Mike to happen, but it never happened. And I heard that you wanted to fight Mike. What was the whole story behind you and Mike Tyson?
Well, what happened is we was in Sweden. He was fighting, I forget who he was fighting. He was fighting the Swedish guy over there.
Nielsen?
And who?
Nielsen? Brian Nielsen?
Yep. They're on that card. I fought on that card, and Mike Tyson had you know, I went over there. I didn't really train. You know what I mean? I didn't really train, and I went over there in Sweden, and my opponent walked through the door. He weighed about 300 and something pounds. He was smoking a cigarette and everything. So, you know, that got in my head a little bit, and they got in there, and the guy clocked me the first round. I mean, he really caught me, and Mike Tyson said he seen my legs buckle. So his trainer told his manager told my manager, don't take any more fights. They're gonna send us a contract because they thought they could, you know.
Yeah.
They see me get, you know, like that. So they sent us a contract, man. We signed it, and it took about 3 weeks or something like that, and we didn't get anything signed back. And then I think Lennox Lewis took it to court because he was supposed to fight him next, and they canceled mine. And then he got beat, you know. But that was our thing always to fight Mike Tyson, man. That was our thing.
So if somebody said to you, Ray, here's the amount of money we've got for you, Ray. Mike's come out now. He's getting a comeback. Would you fight Mike for an exhibition bout? Would you do it?
No. I'm done. And especially fighting somebody like him. You're already 60 years old. He's going to get in there and fight Mike Tyson, who still looks, he still got 3 real good rounds in him. You know, you better tear your head off, man. Too old for that. I want to go fishing. That's all I want to do, man. Just fish, you know, just enjoy life. I don't need to be fighting Mike Tyson. You know how your mind be. Back then, when I was younger, I could deal with, you know, the mind thing and all that. But you know what kind of mind thing be going through right now? Getting ready to fight Mike Tyson. I'm too old for that. That shit right there alone probably killed me.
So, I mean, Evander's talking about...
No way is Merciless get back in the ring.
No Merciless get back in the ring. Evander wants to face him, though.
Yeah, he wants to come back and fight. I don't know. Tyson, he don't need money. I don't know. Holyfield might need some money. I think that's what Holyfield really wants to fight for. He needs some money, but he's the guy. I'm gonna tell you, he's gonna be in great shape if he is coming back. Holyfield's always in shape.
Yeah, he's always in shape.
Like he had lost a step already. If you look at him.
Yeah.
He got the abs and everything.
Yeah, he's still got the abs. He's still got the abs. Evander, the real deal. The fight with yourself and Shannon Briggs. Oh, that fight shocked me. Seeing you.
I am so glad you asked about that because I'm gonna tell you what happened with that fight.
Please tell me.
I'm gonna tell you what happened with that fight. I was beating Shannon Briggs' ass. He hit me with a right hand, and in training, this has been going on for at least my last 2 fights. I had my eye began hitting my eye. I can't see out my eye. But that night, when he hit me with it, because I was beating him, and I had a giant retina tear. And if I'd went to the doctor before the fight, they probably wouldn't even let me fight. But he just furthered it along, and I could not see. I had one fucking eye. So that's why when I threw my right hand at him and I went across the ropes, I couldn't see distance or nothing. And then he hit me on the back of the head. So I figured that was disqualification. So I just went down, stayed down, because I couldn't see out of one eye anyway. I couldn't, and it was only, the 5th round or something like that, so I just stayed down, man. I thought I was really going to win the fight by disqualification because he hit me, he rapid punched me in the back of the head when I was, you know, through the rope thing a little bit. So that's where I was. I didn't want people to know that I had a giant retina tear. I really couldn't come out and tell anybody because you don't let nobody know you're hurt when you fight.
Yeah, of course.
You don't let nobody know what kind of injuries, surgeries, or whatever I had when I was fighting because they try to take advantage of that. But that's what happened during his fight. So the only thing is I couldn't see. I cried that whole night because I couldn't, my right eye was just like nothing but marble, and it wouldn't even move. I can, you know, shut my eyes or whatever and open them, it's still the same picture. It was just a green marble. I can still see it to this day. I mean, in my mind.
Wow.
You know, that's how I hurt. So I had to come back home and get surgery, and I had to wear a patch for 6 months. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. So, but that what happened during that fight.
Wow.
That's what happened. That's the honest truth right there. I thought he was going to get disqualified, which a fighter, if you listen to this, never go that route. I only went that route because I couldn't see, and I didn't want to get hurt.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened with the Shannon Briggs fight. He thinks he's sitting there thinking he got a knockout. I mean, on record he do, but he ain't got no fucking knockout.
Wow.
That's what happened right there. I got the records with surgery. I got everything. You know me. I ain't gonna lay down. I got
yes,
one
you said exactly.
I'm throwing like that, and I missed that bad right there. It's time to stop.
Wow.
That's why I can sit here and I can talk clearly. I can think clearly, and I don't want to box no more. So you know I'm clear.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what are the things that you notice as a fighter as your career starting to come to an end? What are the things that you notice as a fighter, or you noticed?
About what?
When you're coming to the end of your career, what are the things that you notice you can or can't do?
Well, to me, I came to the end. I try to do everything, really. I mean, I just try to do everything. I don't know if you're talking about stuff, really fight for a title.
No. What I mean, sorry, I have to make myself clearer. What I mean is that when you were coming to the end of your career, what was the things that you weren't able to do physically, like as many punches or?
To make you realize that Father Time's on you.
That's it. What is it?
Your knees. They start to hurt when you can't run.
Okay.
And when the hardest thing about quitting boxing was to not get in there and spar.
Yeah.
And get hit in the head, because you want to get in there and you want to get in there and you think you can do it. But Father Time will get you when you get in there, and them young guys, they'll get you. So, that's another thing, man. And, just not want to just feel like you did enough. I just feel like I did enough. I can't speak for everybody, but that's what happened with me. I was just tired. I didn't want to fight no more suspension in MMA or anything. I was done. Especially I went out on top till I got a knockout, so it didn't bother me.
When you look at heavyweight boxing today, is there anybody in the heavyweight division, Ray, that you would have thought in your day you would love to fight in this current era?
That I would not have fought?
No, that you would have wanted to fight. I mean, like.
Oh yeah, Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder.
That would have been an easy fight.
Why'd you say that?
Because he don't know how to box, and he totally depends on his right hand and power. And we would always taught not to go into a fight looking for a knockout. He does just the opposite. So he goes in there, he don't throw jabs, he just gets in there and try to hit you with the hard punches. Is
he the biggest puncher in heavyweight history?
Hell no.
Ooh, okay.
Hell no. Come on, man. We all have tapes where we have hit guys and knock the hell out of them. They're no good. Guys, you just get in there and just whack. They know you got power. Opponents, that's all he had was opponents. He didn't really have fighters like us. We had fighters, man. We had Burt Cooper, sparring partners. Burt Cooper, Oliver McCall. We had some guys we had to really fight to beat. And some of these guys he's fighting, they don't even fight. They're not fighters. They're just opponents. So he went in there and knocked down a whole lot of opponents.
Okay, so Deontay Wilder does not pass the Ray Mercer eye test. So we'll put Deontay to one side. Tyson Fury.
Love him. I love him. I think he's a great fighter, man. I think his attitude is what I like about him, man. The things he's been through and the way his mind works right now, man. He's a great fighter. I love him. I like him. He can box. He loves helping people. He's been down. He's the total package, man. I really like Tyson Fury. I look forward to meeting him one day.
Evander Holyfield said that he would have been a great fighter in any of the heavyweight eras. How would he have done in your era?
Who?
Tyson Fury. Fury, yeah.
I really don't know. I think he might have did all right. Like I said, the guy can box. and he's big. He can big. I think he'd have held his own.
Okay, all right. Anthony Joshua.
After, I wasn't impressed with him, but after I seen his last fight where he came back and beat Ruiz and how scary he was to get hit and all that, that really turned me off about him. He was being too cautious in there. Yeah, you're a heavyweight. And I know he got knocked out by the guy before, but you still can't. You got to get in there and you got to fight. He looked too scary for me this last fight. I think he's a great fighter. I think he would have beat Deontay Wilder.
You think he'll beat Deontay Wilder?
I think he would have, yeah.
Does he beat Tyson Fury?
No.
Why?
Too scary. He's too scary. He's too scary. He's too cautious. That last fight, he just turned me off, man. I'm telling you. He was jerking. All you had to do is he took every feint that we had. He took it. I mean, if you fainted, he really fell for it. That just tells me he was scared he would get hit. And real heavyweight, they're gonna go in there and fight, but you're gonna knock me out before I'm going in there.
All right.
I'm not gonna let you think that you can just come in here and do that again.
What do you make of the WBC and Dillian Whyte situation? Over 1,000 days as mandatory challenger, our #1 contender, and still not got a title shot. What do you make of Dillian Whyte, and do you think he can become heavyweight champion of the world?
I didn't understand the question, Open.
I said Dillian Whyte, he's been #1 contender or mandatory challenger for over 1,000 days. So what are your thoughts on him as a contender, and do you think he can become heavyweight champion of the world?
I don't know. Give me that name again.
Dillian Whyte.
Dillian Whyte.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
He's from England. He fought Anthony Joshua. He just he beat Joseph Parker, and he beat Oscar Rivas, Robert Helenius.
I don't really know him, man. I don't really know him.
Okay, that's probably that's in fought in the States. That's what it is. Okay. Okay, I understand. What about Alexander Usyk? You know Alexander Usyk?
Who?
Usyk, the former undisputed cruiserweight champion.
Oh, cruiserweight?
Yeah, he's now heavyweight.
I don't know him.
No, you don't know him either.
All I tell you, I'm boxing. I don't really. I watch it, but it's not on that much, and they want you to order. I don't order the fights. I don't keep up with it like I used to.
So you're like me. You're a diva of boxing. You only watch the big fights, then, right, Ray?
Yep, that's it.
So
I'm a boxer too, but hey, it is what it is.
My final question to you today, Ray, and thank you so much for giving us your time. My final question to you is this: there's a lot of fighters today calling for big fights that may not have had the tests so far to call for the big money. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, you got to say that one more time.
What do you think of these young fighters that are all about the money but are not taking the big fights?
Oh, no heart, man. That's part of the problem with the boxing game. Right there, man. Depending on who you know or whatever, man. These guys, they don't want to fight. They want the money though, but they don't want to fight the top guys for them. That's always been in boxing, man. There's always had guys like that out there. They're never going.
Okay, Ray, I'm gonna leave it there for now, but I'm gonna call you back at some other point in time. We can get you doing a video interview. But Ray Mercer, champ, thank you so much for making my day and many other people that are listening to this interview. Does anybody have any questions for Ray Mercer before he goes? Any questions for Ray Mercer? If you give us 2 minutes, champ. Any questions for Ray Mercer, please do ask your questions now of Ray Mercer. Ray, why are you called Merciless, by the way?
My trainer gave me that name after I knocked a couple of my guys out on the way up to winning the WBO title. They started calling me Merciless.
Okay. Any questions for Ray Mercer before we go? Any questions, people? Any questions? You're in the room. If you've got any questions to ask Ray Mercer, here's your chance to ask the Olympic gold medalist. What does it take to be a champion, Ray?
It's great to be a champion. I mean, the money comes with it. But I mean, yeah, it's great. It's great.
Great. I'm gonna change you two switches on the right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, no question. Okay, Ray. Yes, a question here. Okay. D Style Boxing. Yes, brother. Go ahead. Ask your question, please, quickly. Because Ray's okay. I asked on Facebook. Please ask Ray where his tail of the tape can be found.
Huh?
Ray, where is your tail of the tape? Where can your tail of the tape be found?
Tail of the tape. Ooh, I don't know.
He says he doesn't know. Your tail of the tape.
The tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape. I mean, it might be your height, reach, and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
Next.
I got work.
Okay. Next question is, what's Mercer's favorite win and why? Gorguruga asked the question.
What was that?
What's your favorite win and why?
My favorite win was winning the gold medal, and it's because it was for my country.
Okay. You wanna say anything more about that?
That's basically bottom line.
Okay. Next question is, why did his boxing fight with Tim Silver switch to MMA last second?
Why do fighters switch to MMA?
No. Why did Ray Mercer's fight with Tim Silver switch to MMA fight last second?
Oh, because they know they can't stand up and knock a heavyweight champ out. They know that MMA cannot compete with boxing, and he would have got knocked out. So they let me train all that time for 9 weeks, and then we get down there 2 days before the fight. They say they can't do the boxing match. So they think I'm gonna go home, and they send me off, and I go to the bar, have me a couple of beers or whatnot. My friend that's with me, one of my trainers, tells me that they're bringing somebody in for me. I'm thinking that they cancel the whole card, but they just canceled me. So I told them, I said, hey man, I'll do MMA. Wow. So, because I want to get paid. So they said, okay, they agreed with it. They thought they had it. They thought they were going to knock me out and all that other stuff. You down there, tie me all up in knots and all that stuff. I went in there and threw one right hand and knocked it. He went down like a tree.
Timber!
Like a tree. So that's what they try to do. They try to do their thing, and I did what I had to do. And that got me suspended. But that was my last fight. I went out on top.
So people are asking at the time for Ante up. Ask the question again. He says, "I've got Tyson's tail of the tape, Lewis's tail of the tape, Cooper's tail of the tape, everyone's tail of the tape, apart from Ray Mercer. Where's Ray Mercer's tail of the tape? His height, his reach, his weight."
Oh.
So
tail of the tape. That's what your weight and all that, reach and all that, right?
Yeah. We'll know what that is.
What you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, tell us, Ray. Tell us. Give us the exclusive.
I don't know. I had like a 78 reach. I was 6'1" and a half. I was my prime. I was 35, something like that. My record is, what is it? 38 with 26 knockouts, something like that. Anyway, and one draw.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it.
Yep. Ruben Guerrero asked the question, who's the best fighter you've been in the ring with, Ray?
The best fighter I've seen in the ring?
No, you've been in the ring with.
Oh, the best fighter I've been in the ring with?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say Holyfield.
Wow. Holyfield.
The best fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, Holyfield, definitely Holyfield.
What?
If you say the strongest fighter or something like that, that's a different story. Or who hits harder, now that's a different thing.
Who hits hardest?
He was a boxer. Holyfield was the best boxer.
Better than Larry Holmes?
Huh?
Better than Larry Holmes?
Yeah, at the time, Larry was old when he fought me.
Okay.
He was old when he fought me. Holyfield, man. Holyfield, like I said right now, I think Holyfield can get out there and give somebody some trouble.
Okay. We asked the question about Ray. Ray says he's not making any comebacks. It wouldn't happen. He would not consider it. He says he's done. So we asked the question. Susanna Bullerman. Hey, Susanna, good to see you in the room. What advice would you give young aspiring boxers of today? What advice would you give young boxers today?
I would tell them to train like it's the last day of their life, man, because their life is at stake. And every punch you take risk. So what you have to do is you have to listen to your trainer. And, just listen to your trainer. If you lose, it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but you have to listen to him because he can see things that you can't see when you're in that fight. So that's the best advice I can give.
Okay.
To your trainer.
Hamza S says, do you feel a trainer should have competed in the ring to be qualified?
Do I feel like a trainer should have competed in the ring?
Yeah, before they call themselves a trainer, a boxing trainer.
Yeah, I do. I think you got to know something. Yeah, I do.
I do. I agree. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. One other thing that comes to my mind. I remember when you fought Lennox Lewis, and your trainer said to you, "Just whack him." I always laughed at that. Just whack him. What does that mean, Ray? Good.
Get in there, hit him. That's how it's fight. Just get in there, hit him hard.
He said, "Oh, in the corner."
That means get in there and hit that motherfucker. That's what that means.
Yeah, because they said, we're just going to go over to Ray Mercer's corner. Let's hear what the trainer's got to say. Let's hear what the instructions are. Whack him.
Yeah. Hey, you don't have to sit there and say, throw him right. Hey, the time for that's over. You say whack him, that means get in there.
Whack him.
That's what that means.
Oh, my dear me. Another question here. What does Ray think is the difference between heavyweights in Ray's time and those today? Ruben Guerrero asks the question.
I think we was hungrier back in those days. I think we had better trainers than the heavyweights nowadays. I mean, we definitely had better trainers. We had Tommy Parks, Emmanuel Stewart. We had some great trainers. Yep. And,
teachers, Ray, teachers.
You
had great teachers.
Yes, teachers. You got it. That's right. It was great.
Question about what's the most Ray has ever lifted in the weight room while training?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know, 70, 75 pounds, 65 pounds. We didn't lift for to get a lot of muscle. We just lift to stay toned. So we did circuits with weights more than less, just sitting down lifting up 300-400 pounds. We didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Okay.
All we do like 20 sets of 25 pounds of lifting over the head. We did that. We did a lot of core training.
Oh, okay.
That takes away you have to lift all that weights. Lifting weights for a boxer ain't really good. Not to get muscle.
Very interesting point you're making there. Very interesting. D-Style Boxing says you got robbed by Lennox Lewis, and you admitted that Lennox said himself that he lost that fight to you, as you said earlier.
Yeah. What's the question?
No, somebody just said that D-Style Boxing says he felt that you got robbed you robbed in your fight against Lennox Lewis.
Oh yeah, got robbed. That was it. That's the word.
Okay.
That's the word.
Ray, once again, have you got any final words to the listeners tonight?
Final listen. Yes, I am. Oh man, I can't do that. Okay, but no, it was nice talking to everybody, and thank everybody for listening. If I was boring or anything, and if you were the fan, thank you. If you wasn't a fan, thank you. And I want to thank you, man, for having me on.
Champ, listen, I have to do this for Uncle James Elbashir. He's been like an uncle to me for many years, mentored me in boxing. And he asked me to ask you this question about Maurice Harris. How good was Maurice Harris?
He was good. I mean, he didn't really show all his skills in the ring, but he showed them in the gym. I mean, that guy, he was my sparring partner. He was like my number one sparring partner. He was good, especially with Bashir in his corner. I'm telling you, man, Maurice Harris, he was a hell of a fighter.
I said
he can box. I've never seen a guy that can box, like him.
Wow. That's what
he had a jab. He had a fast jab, and it was tough. I mean, we had battles, me and Maurice. He's a great boxer.
Bashir said he had all the skills to become heavyweight champion of the world. Uncle Bashir said he had all the ability to become heavyweight champion of the world, but threw it away.
He said
he threw opportunities away to become heavyweight champion of the world. Maurice Harris.
I can't, man. I'm hearing beeps and all that stuff in the phone.
Let me try again. Maurice Harris said. James Elbashir said that Maurice Harris had all the qualities to become a heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh yes, definitely. He did. He had all of them. He was. I just don't know when he get in the fights. I just don't know what happened. But the guy was great. I mean, the guy can box. Never seen any heavyweight box like him. He could have been heavyweight champion of the world.
I said he was roughing up guys like Lennox Lewis in camp regularly. He said he was roughing Lennox Lewis up in camp regularly.
Oh yeah. Maurice, man, that's what he does. He get in there and mess you up. Yeah, I told him he couldn't go over there and be beating up the guys, because then they'll send you home.
Wow. Yeah. So we're gonna get Maurice. We're gonna get Maurice on the show because he's been waiting for a while. Before you go, just let people know about Maurice Harris before he comes on the show, Ray.
The young, inspiring guy, Maurice Harris. I learned this young guy, and I learned from him because he threw all his punches. He's just a great fighter. I mean, he's a boxer. I mean, if I had to fight that guy, it'd be like fighting Holyfield. He'd be all over the place. He can move. His jab was fast, and he's a great guy.
Wow,
that's my brother.
Ray Mercer, once again, Ray Mercer. Thank you so much for being on BWTM Sports, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon, champ.
All right, appreciate it.
Take care, champ.
All right.
So we finally got the interview with Ray Mercer. It took time. We had to track him down, but we've delivered. Ray Mercer, we've delivered for you. I hope you've enjoyed the interview. Please do like, share, subscribe, let people know about it. And I hope that you really have enjoyed it. A lot of people are saying it's been a great interview, but great interview because it's a great champion and it was inspirational. Ray, my apologies for keeping you on the phone for so long, but so many questions and just having the ability and the opportunity to talk to a great fighter like yourself. So my apologies in advance. Right, everybody, thank you so much. Have a great time. Have a great weekend. This has been BWTM Sports, and we're out. Take care.